So my name is Darla DeGrande, and I'm here in my home office in San Diego, California. And I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to introduce our guest. His name is Tom Signorello out of Jacksonville, Florida. And he's going to be doing a deep dive workshop on the digital doorway, the platform of Instagram. And he's going to talk about how he gets people to come from the World Wide Web through Instagram into his network. And tomorrow night is going to be Facebook. I'm going to be doing the one tomorrow night on Facebook. So if you want to learn about Facebook, you can get registered to be on that one. And then Janice Porter, who is a LinkedIn coach and trainer, is going to be after the 4th of July weekend on the 7th. She will be training on LinkedIn. The purpose for these trainings are so that you can have an overview to see why we chose our platform. What type of audience is on that platform? What are we doing to attract people through that platform so that maybe you can see which one's for you, or learn a few tips of your platform, or decide which one you may want to move to if the one you're with isn't quite working. So you can use all three too if you want. But that's what these are for. And then all three of us, Tom, Janice, and myself, are going to come back together for a third workshop training on the following week, where we're going to talk about the third part of it, which is how once we attract the people from the World Wide Web and we bring them through our doorway, our digital doorway, or our platform, where we convert them from strangers to acquaintances to friends, customers, and that sort of thing. We're going to talk about then how do we retain those people? How do we build the relationship? And how do we get them to stay friends for life? How do we get them to go tell all their friends about us so that we can get referrals to business and get introduced to more amazing friends like they are? This is where you tap into the riches of relationships, which is where opportunities come from, referrals, friends, love, travel, all that we need to thrive. We as the human race need relationships, love, and money in order to thrive. And that's what this is all about. 3-part series. So I'm going to turn it over to Tom. And Tom, you take it away. The platform is yours, my friend.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. But, I really think that probably the best thing we can do, because there's a lot of people on here, Darla, that I think that don't know about our stories and how we actually got to this. So that's probably a good point. Some people, if you've heard this before, please don't worry about it. But for those of you who hadn't, I'm just this regular guy, and I wound up graduating from college, and I had a career in the airline business, had my ladder leaning against the wrong wall, 10 years with US Air, great company, but I had a boss I had to fire. I couldn't work for him anymore. He was taking up too much of my time. Then I started a landscape business. I did really well with that, had 24 employees and $750,000 worth of equipment. I had a path to retirement. I knew how I was going to get there. And then a funny thing happened on the way to the retirement. It was called the Great Economic Crash of '08. Maybe you might have heard about it. It was in the papers. And literally, I went from the penthouse to the outhouse in less than 8 months. I mean, it was so bad, I didn't even want to be me at that time. And well, one thing led to another, and I bounced around looking for whatever job I could find, crisscrossing the country, literally bouncing around the country, trying to find things in that really deep, dark recession. One of the things that I read during that was personal development books and things on marketing. It was a book by a guy named Joe Girard. And Joe, for those who don't know, is in the Guinness World Book of Records for selling automobiles. In that 200-page book, one page was devoted to his marketing strategy. He sent greeting cards. And I went, you know what? That's so simple, it's brilliant. His philosophy was, if you're in any type of relationship sale, don't advertise. It doesn't work, and it doesn't build referrals. If you want to nurture relationships, stay in touch with them in a personal and meaningful way. And Joe would have more people buying cards at his height because he didn't have a system. He had employees that were writing his cards because he had 4 secretaries working full-time writing his cards to people. Anybody who ever came in to buy a car or look at a car, or they referred a friend, they would send him notes. He'd keep their birthdays, all kinds of stuff. he was a machine. And at the end of the day, he was selling like 6 cars a day with people just coming on in. He was an order taker. Anyway, I digress a little bit, but when I saw that, I went, wow, I need to do that. And so at the bottom of all this stuff, like we were talking about, all I had left from my landscape company was my demo kit for my outdoor lighting company, which actually I still have in place today, but that's more linear income and it's more local to the Jacksonville metro area. I'm going to show you that on my Instagram. I'm going to share my screen in a little bit and show you how I use that in the way I go about doing business. But anyway, back over to the story. I was doing fine, and I was working my relationship business, and I was also working my outdoor lighting business. And then something happened in 2012. I wound up developing a condition called Bell's palsy. For those who don't know about it, it was a pinched nerve that ran around the right side of my face, came right down to my mandible. And overnight, the right side of my face became paralyzed. And it stayed that way for about a year. And at that time, I was meeting all kinds of people for my businesses through BNI, Chamber of Commerce, face-to-face networking, lifestyling. And overnight, people had thought I had had a stroke. Now, I took a little heat from some people the other day when we had a call and I talked about a stroke. Please, no disrespect to anybody who had a stroke. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but at that time, the people who didn't know me and were telling other people that I was really in a bad way, it was almost impossible for me to be able to build trust in a relationship if they didn't think I was going to be around, you know? And so I had to figure out what to do. So I came home and I was a little down for a couple of days, actually a couple of weeks. And then I said, okay, enough is enough. I am not going to let a little injury like this, because I didn't know how long it was going to last. I didn't know how to go about prospecting and finding people on the internet. And I did a little search and I came across tutorials that were inexpensive. They were $97 by a guy named Lewis Howes. And for those of you who don't know Lewis, oh my gosh, this guy's a digital water walker. He's incredible. And I bought his tutorials on LinkedIn. And so I studied that. Well, for 5 years, I spent building my businesses thanks to LinkedIn and the personal branding there and prospecting. And so when we get into the LinkedIn side, Janice Porter next week is really going to go into a deep dive over there. Back over to here. Along about 2016 or so, the economy started picking up. I mean, it had already been coming out of that deep recession, but people were really starting to do better financially. Well, think about it, going to chamber meetings and other types of live networking events. When people are making money, those things kind of dry up because people are like, well, I don't need that. I'm making money. Silly. I mean, I don't know why, but people do that and they stop networking. And, you know, actually they need the relationships. So when economies turn sour, they need to be able to maintain and enhance those relationships to get through the next downturn. More on that in a minute. Okay. So I moved over and I right about that time, Facebook purchased Instagram. And I didn't know anything about Instagram. I thought it was for kids. I didn't know anything about it. So I said, well, I got to get on to Instagram and kind of check this out. And I found out it's really cool because like Facebook, Darla's going to talk about tomorrow night. Make sure that you book a time to watch Darla tomorrow night. Facebook is like that backyard patio picnic with, gosh, it's got to be approaching 2 billion people just on that platform that you get to invite back into your barbecue picnic. And then LinkedIn is more like that Chamber of Commerce, but Instagram was more like lifestyle marketing, going to the mall or going to the produce aisle at the grocery store. There are many, many different types of people on that platform. And it's like a smorgasbord. And you could find all kinds of different people that way. I mean, gosh, when I was a kid, I wanted to drive Indy race cars. And I could go find people that like Indy 500 racing. I mean, it's niched out that deep where you can find all these different kinds of people and build friendships and rapport. So I went on Instagram, gosh, this is about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, for my outdoor lighting business. And because with what I do, I'm an outdoor artist. I just paint pictures with light, and I do it at night. And I'll show you some pictures here in a little bit, but what was really cool is I started attracting a whole audience over there. And many of them are in the real estate and mortgage and insurance industries. They like dealing with the contractors and the other types of folks. We all network well together. Well, that was 2.5 years ago. I'm up to close to 8,000 followers on that. So I'm now building this wonderful list of people who see the photos. They can click engage. I can send messages to. I can actually send cards to. We'll get into that all in a bit. But there's more than just those people. I set up a second Instagram account, and I'll show you that in a minute. And that was more about my Instagram coaching services. So instead of looking at real estate, mortgage, and insurance people, I kind of kept that lily pond clean for people in the real estate world and for niched out to Jacksonville. And then over on the other side, that's more of my global account. And that's looking for kind, loving, and giving people who are really looking to expand on their Instagram side of things. So that's how I did that. But along the way, over the last 12 months, I've kind of perfected a system that works for me of how I attract the people, engage, and then I move people from the virtual world to the real world by sending them a tangible touch in the mail, a card or a gift, with no expectation of anything on the other side. This is the magic that I've found that helps me get to the next step in the relationship building process. And the next step is not, hey, do you want to buy my stuff? The next step is, hey, I'd like to get to know you. Would you like to get to know me? And not everybody says yes, but some do. And I teach people the art of how to be able to do that simply and easily over a little bit of time or a long period of time. It's totally up to them how fast they want to go. I want to go as fast as I can, but one is a supply line and one is a demand line, And so I can provide all the supply, but people on the other side have to demand when they want to become friends. And if I go too fast, I freak them out and they run the other way. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, cool. So anyway, that's kind of my story, and that's how I've gotten to the part where I am right now. And now I get to help other people understand how to use that platform, that if they want to drive traffic to a website, that's fine. But if you don't have a website that converts without you being there or without you having a relationship with somebody, I don't recommend driving traffic to a website. I recommend driving traffic to a calendar schedule so you can have a one-to-one to get to know them. So that's my story, and that's the way to start off. Darla, I mean, do you want to have any Q&A right now before we go to the slides, or not slides, my Instagram?
I was reading these, people were asking what was the name of the book, what's the name of the guy you're talking about. I was answering these questions. But no, I love your story. There it is. There's the book. Hold it up.
Oh, no, that's not
Joe Girard. Joe Girard.
I love to send to people.
Yeah, I answered Joe Girard on there.
Was oh gosh, I forget the name of it, but Joe Girard, and he's got a number of different books. You could do an Amazon search and you can find it. But the bottom line is just take the page from what we're saying here and think about, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this. I mean, literally an 8-year-old can make friends and send a little note to somebody, whether they write it by hand or they use a system. We happen to use a system. This call is not about that. But Darla and I, we have a system and we love that system. We'll talk about that maybe down the road. Anyway, back over to here, Darla. I interrupted you. You had some things people wanted to know?
Yeah, I was answering the questions as people were asking. I think once you jump into it and then we come back, the questions will come off of the actual physical stuff.
Sure.
Of showing
slides. You mind if I share my screen?
Go right ahead. Let's see.
Go.
You're your co-host, right?
What'd you call me? A goat head?
Co-host.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Nah. Funny guy, right? Okay, Darla, can you see my screen?
Sure can.
All right, tell me what you see.
Your Instagram page.
One of them. I have two. This is my outdoor lighting page. And if you notice down at the bottom, there's a little heart with a dot on it. And that's what's happened just in the last 20 minutes. Look at that, Sharon Yount. I'm going to follow Sharon. I'll send her a welcome message in a minute. In fact, this is really good to show you. As people come in, I look at this and I go, wow, okay, Sharon's a cool person. Now I'm going to say something like, hi, Sharon. Thanks so much for following me. Have a great evening. I wish I could type. All right, have a great evening. Boom. Now, if you notice, there's no pitch. There's no nothing about me. It's, hi, Sharon. Thanks for following me. I'm going to make a note here that Sharon came on, but I'm also going to go in and make a, oh, look at that. I'm going to actually like that, and I'm going to leave a comment. Beautiful. Boom. And I like to put on little things like that. I like doing this because, number one, Sharon knows that I looked at her photos. Now I'm engaging, and more importantly, her followers now can start to see me. And if they click on that and they say, oh, I do outdoor lighting, well, if they're in the market, maybe they're going to come on over to my page and they're going to follow me. This is how I pick up organic traffic. Darla, does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, that was actually genius, because when you were commenting on her thing, I noticed that it said Tom Signorello outdoor lighting. And I was like, that's genius. You just put love on her page, and then it made people look to see, oh, who's that? Who's that? Oh,
right. I'm going to hit edit my profile, and you're going to be able to see the name on the account is my personal name. I'm branding me, but when it posts a comment or something, it actually posts your username. And mine, if I ran it all together without those periods, it would be very hard to read. But now it breaks out my last name, it breaks out outdoor and lighting. So people, I have a business that it's very easy for people to understand when they see that, what I do. Make sense?
Yes, I love it. That's genius.
Now, website, I've got my website right here, and I can put that link to something like that. My website doesn't sell well for me. What it's done for me is be able to create trust, that people see testimonials on there, some work that I've done. It's not meant as a sales page. It's more of just a personal branding and reputation page. When I go and I get calls and I go out to meet people, that's where I really build the relationship in doing. I usually do a one-stop close for my outdoor lighting, but that's a whole different story. Now it says bio. I can show you here by touching that how I can adjust my bio. And if you notice down in the corner, it shows 44 characters I still have left. I can add more, but right now I'm not looking to do that. I can create calls to action like, are you frustrated that you don't have enough light around your pool and patio in the evening? I can help you. Click on my website, take a look, and let's set a time. You know, I could put that there, but I choose not to do it during the summertime because over here in Florida and with daylight savings time, it doesn't get dark until almost 9 o'clock at night. This is actually my slowest time of the year. So I focus on other things. If I get some lighting work, terrific, but I don't work on making that a priority. My busiest times for lighting runs from late September all through the winter and on into about mid-May. So right now I'm in my most quiet time of the year, and that's great because in Florida it was like 100 degrees today, and I didn't want to be out there doing lighting. So anyway, I'm on the professional side, so you can see I can do promotions, I can do ads, I can do all kinds of different stuff. I don't do any of that. Everything I do is organic. You know, I don't want to be spending money on ads. For example, today I got a really good play off of this one post. This is Willie Smith, and here is the story that I made about Willie. Willie is a great friend of mine. He's a mortgage professional here in Jacksonville, but more than that, he's a fellow alumni of my university at Penn State. And he didn't ask me to do this. I just went and did it for him with no anything in regard. And, you know, he's saying thanks for the kind words, but because I have so many real estate agents in there, What did I do with the comments? I tagged one of the best realtors right there, Dale Moe. He lives right here in Jacksonville. And Dale is actually a Rotary member and a great friend of mine. He's also an ex-chief petty officer from the Navy. So look at Willie with military mortgages and Dale being in real estate and a former military man. These two men need to know each other and be doing business together. So that's what I did with this post. And along the way, look at that. I got 53 people today because this just went out today. There's 53 people now that I can work in building relationships with. And if I haven't followed them, I'll go in and follow them later. I don't want to do it right now while we're on this call. But let me take a pause right here, Darla, and see if you had any questions
I
with
do.
what I'm showing so far.
I do. That is.
Yeah, what do you got?
You know, I'm not. I have an Instagram account. It's been a long time since I've posted. I don't know Instagram to say that I know it, and I love watching this because I'm learning myself. I'm learning great tips, and I love what you did. It's genius. I do have a question. If you scroll up,
Sure,
to the top of your page, right there where it says 7, where it says followers and following, is there a rhyme to the reason or a method to the madness, or is, I had heard somewhere that you want to have more than one and not the other, or more, not as much of one as the other, or something like that for algorithms?
well,
or
let me ask you, no, I don't know about
I
any
don't
of
know.
that stuff. I don't spend a whole lot of time on ads or algorithms or any of that. I look to nurture relationships like
Yep.
you.
Yep.
I want to get to know every one of those 7,690 people. I want
Yep.
to find out if they're married. I want to find out if they have kids. I want to find out what they do for a living. You know, my goal is to have a one-to-one with every one of them. And even if I only have one-to-ones with 10% of them, that's a lot of people.
Right.
And I don't mind doing the work because I'm in a relationship-driven business. And some of them are going to want to hire me for lighting. Some of them I'm going to want to buy stuff from. Some of them are going to want to join me on my other deal or be a customer for me.
Right.
You know, I never know, but I do know the answer if I don't reach out.
Yeah. Yep.
So here I'm going to click on the number of followers. That's my follow list right there. Okay. Now, these are all people who've just come in. I'm not going to go and do that. I'm going to click on up at the top right where it says who I'm following. And I go in and I clear this out. You know, this takes a little bit of time to load because I got a lot of people there. But look at that. Least interacted with 50 people. I'm going to touch that right now. This is going to pull up the people who I am not engaged with. Now watch this. I'm going to unfollow them. I go right down the list and unfollow them. I'm not going to unfollow them all, but I just showed you, as you build this up, you wind up having these types of things where you can eliminate, I don't want to say dead connections, but I do my best to nurture these relationships to get them to move offline. But if they're not engaging with me, there's a reason they're on the least interacted with list.
That is a very cool fake. That's a very cool feature. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't have that.
Yeah, rather than having, you know, spending a whole lot of time trying to figure out all those are, shoot, maybe once or twice a week, I'll go in there and clear out a couple hundred people that are, you know, they're not engaged. I let them go. And so what I'd like you to think about this is like a balloon, and we're going to pump it up with air. We're going to follow people, or they're going to follow us. I'm going to show you how I engage with them through direct messaging. And then some people are going to want to move to the friend side. Some people are going to go away. So when we pump that air up and they don't want to be in there, we let the air out of the balloon and we unfollow them. We let them go. And then from there, we're going to go follow a few more people, or we'll get some people that are attracted to the posts we put on. They're engaged and they want to follow us. And then we're going to reach out to them. And that's all it is, engaging with these different people and pumping up the balloon and letting the bad air out, pumping it up, letting the bad air out, keeping the good air in. And now I've got a rich, full list of people to engage with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Did I lose? Yeah. we got a little thunderstorm in the air, so I
Yeah,
might have a
I
little
can
delay with my
actually tell
internet. If that
your
happens, don't worry. I'll get off the internet and I'll go off of my cell phone.
yeah, it is kind of dragging a little bit, Tom. You're
Okay.
catching up a little bit.
Okay. Let me go to my settings and turn off my Wi-Fi. How's that? If I go off of
Oh, now it got a little worse. Now you're dragging. I think it was
you
better
should
the other
be
way.
hearing me a lot
No.
better now.
It was better the other way.
With the
Oh wait,
Wi-Fi?
now maybe it caught up. Okay, you're good now. You're good now.
Okay, yeah, I changed it back to the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Okay, so that's that. Now down at the bottom, you see the little icons.
Yes.
If we go from right to left, I'm going to click on my picture, and that is like bringing back me to my home screen, not my home screen, my personal profile page. I'm going to touch on the heart. This is going to show all the people who followed me, people who've liked my posts, maybe comments they've made. You know, look at that. Done. I'm not a Nittany Lion. I'm a Terp, but my entire family is from Nittany Lion country. Look at that. Boom. And let me click on that. I'm going to follow her, and I'm going to find a way to engage with her. How cool was that?
Very cool.
Yep. Now, say I wanted to put a post. You see that little plus sign in the bottom in the middle?
Yep.
This, I can go to all these different things. Look at that. I got pictures of you right there, darling, and a bunch of other friends of mine. If I wanted to post that, I could. Or maybe something like that. Or here's one I did post the other day. Look at that. This is, again, a backyard patio. People on my outdoor lighting, this is like a visual blog. And I don't claim that I built this. What I do say is, hey, this is a really cool outdoor living space. What do you think of it? And by asking an open-ended question, people actually start to reply. And that's all we want to do. We just want to get them kind of thinking about it, looking at it, liking it, commenting, and that gives us an opportunity to advance the friendship. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Now the search feature. Now these people here, there's all kinds of different stuff, accounts, tags. Look at this, like Florida landscape. I want to find people that deal in Florida landscapes. I can go find them. Or let's see, landscapes of Instagram. I could go find people in my profession all around the country, and they would connect and they would resonate with me because we're in the green industry. And look at this. There's somebody from Queensland, Linda McKay Photography. Well, she might be nice to network with. I don't know. But she's down under. Well, gosh, I'm looking to meet people down in Queensland, aren't you? And if she follows me back, great. And if she doesn't, she'll go in that one of those ones that are not engaged and she'll get deleted.
Very cool.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back over to cancel that and home. And here I'm at my home screen. So this is like on Facebook, your home feed where you see everybody's stuff.
Yes.
I just filter down through, and when I see something that I like, I'll just give it a like. Sold. Look at that, Keller Williams. That is a hashtag for Keller Williams. You want to see something cool? You want to see something blow your mind? 1.5 million posts with Keller Williams tagged in it. And
wow.
Here's recent posts. So if you're looking for real estate agents, you can go find them right here.
Wow, that's a cool feature. So if I wanted to look for hairdressers, I could go in there and type in hair.
But it's under tags.
Yeah, tag.
Hairdresser.
Just hair. I think hair.
Hair where?
Just hair.
San Diego?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wow. 3.6 thousand posts.
Very cool.
A niche will make you rich.
I love it.
Okay. So let me go back on over here to my profile. Now I'm going to go on over. Oh, no, I'm going to show you the messaging feature. You see up at the very top right, a little airplane.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I'm going to touch that. We're running a little long. I thought we were going to be about a half hour. We might need about 15 minutes more. So if you're out there and you're getting bored, I'm going to button it up here in a few minutes. I want to show you how I engage with people. Now look at this. These are people I sent messages to today, all within the last 9 hours. Look at the engagement that I have going on. Here's one really cool one. Get ready for what you're going to see here. Here's Nikki. All right. Now, Nikki, I met about 6 weeks ago on here. And when I did meet her, I'm going to go back to the messages and I'm going to show you how I wound up starting out the conversation. I'm going to say, thanks so much for following me, Nikki. Looking forward to seeing you in your wonderful post. Have a great Wednesday. That was June 3rd. So it was less than 6. It was actually 4 weeks ago. And what'd she do? She commented, she replied back. And now watch this. I'm actually sending out a free copy of this great book, and it includes the shipping. And I wondered if you might like to have a copy. If not, no big deal. Let me know. Hey, yeah, I'd love a copy. Great. What's your physical mailing address or P.O. box where I can send it? And I'm not going to show her the whole, but she gave me her whole address right there. Total stranger on the internet, but I built trust by offering something for free. She receives the book. She's really excited about it. Can't wait to talk to me. But I didn't go in and ask for an appointment or to show her anything. So glad you got this. I messaged her on Saturday, and yesterday I asked her for the one-to-one. And this is a script that I use with people, and it works really well. And, you know, I ask them if they're open to getting to know each other and see how we can help each other. You know, maybe we can jump on Zoom or have a call. I'm sure I have an idea or two you might like. What'd she say? Sure, yeah, I'm definitely open. Let's chat. How's your week look? Here's the link to my calendar. Bang. I've got an appointment with her next week.
Beautiful. Love it.
Any questions before I do that?
One question is from Dia Bartlett out of Australia. From
Dia.
Down Under.
Dia, how you doing?
Tom, do you track these people on a spreadsheet or just organic?
You want to see my tracking sheets? There's my tracking sheets. I take old business cards of mine because I'm not going out. I'm not going out there getting the corona. And these people, I can't get their business cards, but I love to collect people's real business cards. I keep them in a book. I keep them organized for lighting. I keep them organized for my networking business. I keep them organized for Rotary. I mean, I got everybody organized. Some I have in multiple books, you know, but that's kind of tricky trying to juggle all that. I am not a spreadsheet guy. I like to play chess. So I like to see the whole board and I like to move the pieces around. These are people that I invited for a one-to-one. There are 9 and there's 6 more. There's 15 people there that I invited in the last 24 hours. Where's my other page? I got it around here somewhere. Anyway, I got another page over here that shows, here it is. These are the people that replied in the last 24 hours. There are 8 names on that. So what was there? 15 and 8, 23, 24, and I got 8. I'm at 33% for people saying yes to taking appointments. Total strangers that I didn't know 4 weeks ago from the internet.
That's awesome.
Somebody just asked, Brenda, how do you follow up? I couldn't read the whole thing. What'd you see there?
With Brenda, I love it. How do you follow up how do you follow up if need be after the one-to-one?
Oh, well, that's beautiful. That's a great question. Whatever way they tell me. Because in the one-to-one, I'm getting to know them. And what's the rule, Darla? 2 ears, 1 mouth?
Yeah.
We sit there, we listen. They tell us all about them. They tell us all about what they're working on. They tell us about their dreams and visions. They also tell us where their deficiencies and they need help is. And us being great marketers, the next thing out of our mouth needs to be, I might be able to help you with that. Mm-hmm. Not today, I'm busy, I got to do something. Let's set another time. And I love using Calendly. I shoot them the link. They book the time. There's no this going back and forth. They pick phone or Zoom. Those are the only 2 options I give them. And most of them take Zoom. And now here I am living in, and it's terrible to say, Florida, we had 6,000 cases of COVID diagnosed yesterday in one day. It's sad what's happening around the world. I don't want to be Debbie Downer and turn this into a negative thing, but we're living in a world where isn't it better to be safe than sorry? I don't want to get all political on everybody and everything, but if you haven't noticed, I'm a little chubby. I probably stand to lose a couple of pounds. I'm gravitationally challenged. But I've also had some kidney stone issues, and I've also got some blood sugar. It's not too bad, but you know, I've had to deal with some blood sugar issues in my life. And so I'm at a relatively higher risk than most people for catching that. So now I've pivoted and doing 100% of what I'm doing online. I'm building all of my businesses online with the exception of lighting, and actually that's to sleep. I'm probably going to close that, not close the doors, but slow down on it until the virus is under control, because it's not doing the work for the clients that is a hazard for me. It's going to the supply house to buy the parts where thousands of people go through in a week. That puts me at risk. And I don't want to give it to my wife. I don't want to give it to my children. I don't want to do any of that stuff. So now I pivoted in the last 8 weeks to now 100% working from home and doing it virtually. I have an unlimited supply of prospects. And more importantly, now I get to coach other people what I've learned how to do. And I'm not that great. I mean, I just figured out how to do this because I developed this myself. Nobody else did this. I mean, wouldn't it be great if I developed an app that did this? You know, I don't know. I need smart people like you, Darla, to figure that side of it out. But in the meantime, I like helping people. I like helping them understand what I've learned how to do, and I've been having success doing it, you know? And why would I want to keep that to myself?
Yeah, that's right. You know, this whole COVID thing, like Jordan says, more millionaires will be made, more books will be written, more movies will be filmed or made from this time, and more businesses from people shifting and pivoting and learning how to do something differently. That's all it is it's forcing the entrepreneurs to get creative.
Yeah, well, I'm really proud to be working with you on this platform. Can I share the screen again?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. All right. We're almost done. We're going to go through a couple of little things here and how people can find out more about what I do and how I can help them. And let's see. Can you see my screen, Darla?
Yes.
Great. So this here, I didn't want to do that. Bang. You can see right here. So how do we find the people that we need to be talking to in order to grow our businesses, have more sales and referrals during these uncertain times? Like we talked about, the COVID-19 lockdowns. Well, we're not on lockdown, we're opening up, but who knows how long that's going to be. What looks like for the economy in the future, whether it's totally uncertain, unemployment's at record numbers. What does the future look like? A total mystery. How do we find new business? Well, social media helps to provide that solution. How do we go from being total strangers to having closed business? Well, we use a process and we take steps to use a bridge. I just got done showing you the things that I do on a daily basis to add new contacts, add new people, add followers, and then follow up with them. And that bridge, I love to tell people the bridge that I love to use is a greeting card. I have a system that makes it fun, easy, and affordable to do, you know, and so I'm providing customized Instagram lead generation coaching to help people have more business, better relationships, and more business. Do this by identifying their target demographic groups and locations, like I showed you, hairdressers in San Diego, using attraction marketing strategies and content to make them want to follow you, like I put pictures of my friend Willie and introduced them to people like Dale. All right, help you understand the art of engagement with follow-up and online with people. Then show you how to use that bridge to take these relationships from online to off, where real business gets done. I do profile optimization and setup services. I optimize with keywords, do strategic posting. Now, I don't do the post, I teach people how to do it. I guarantee them 300 new followers in the first 30 days. I also give them a free follow-up system and then coach them how to use that. There's my contact information if you want to do a screenshot of it or grab a pen real quick and want to write down my cell number. And if you're interested in booking a one-to-one, you can simply go to my Calendly.
Calendly.com/tsignorello, and it'll take you right to where you can book a time and get more information. So, Darla, that's what I do.
Awesome job, Tom. You laid down a lot of great tips tonight and good information. And I know that people loved what they saw. We'll get this recorded and put up on YouTube so that people can also relook at it and watch, because I found a couple tips that I really liked. Things that Instagram does that Facebook doesn't do, believe it or not.
Thanks again for your time, Darla. Thanks for hosting.
Thank you, Tom. Have a good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.